Allie and Patrick with me today. We'll give a few minutes for people to actually show up, and then we'll tell you what it is we're doing in case you didn't figure it out from the title, which what we're doing. Oh, did you just get an alert? I think Patrick just got an alert that I'm live on YouTube.
Yep, you're live on YouTube.
Did
you know that?
But you're live on YouTube. I'm not live.
Deception.
Yes. What's going on, Arachnids? David W. Good thing to see you here, Wolfgeist. And Cheesy Poo. That's pretty funny because, I'm a big South Park fan. But what we're going to be doing today, guys, is just what it says. It's picking up snakes. Although it's not me picking up snakes. It's actually Patrick picking up snakes.
Was I supposed to bring you snakes today?
You could have. I wouldn't have argued with you. And we want to share what he's picking up, let you get his thoughts on it, and we'll tell you a little bit about all of this. And then we're going to slide over to Patreon like we normally do. So if you're not on there, you should be. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that shit that you're supposed to do to make my life better. I know, right? I'm so I need to start bleeding everywhere on my eyeballs and screaming like and subscribe and be afraid of everything or some shit. I don't know what I need to do.
They're starting to sell the fake blood in the stores.
Yeah.
You could get a game on it.
I could. The last time we used fake blood, I got a lot of hate. You guys remember the April Fool's joke, rattlesnake bite? I got a shit ton of hate for that. We used a little fake blood on that one. Actually, I used a little real blood, too, because I actually did puncture myself to make it look legit.
But,
because, I'm a dedicated actor.
Let's remember.
Yeah. Here, I'll get you in here.
Let's remember. You made a lot of freaking views on TikTok because of hate, too. So, hate does sometimes work.
Hate sells, but I'm a believer in love, not hate. So, let's get a snake. Which one do you want to start with? You got 3 coming.
Okay, the one I've been most excited for was the Exantic.
So, we'll go ahead and get that. We'll be right back, and I'll show it all to you. I'll let Patrick talk about what he's seeing in this and what his plans are with it.
Stand over here and thank God there's glass between me and Lilith.
So here it is, guys. We have our little... This is a nice little female. I'll just put that right down there. I'm going to sit down so I can see your comments. So what we're working with here...
Yeah, I understand why you can't read comments.
Somebody's watching Tank vs. Tub video. Oh, of course not. I've got tanks, man. I'm not going to bully those guys. It's whatever works best for you. I've seen it go back and... whatever, if you're caring for your animals, what the hell's the matter what you stick them in, right? And I do have TikTok, Marcus, so you can check out our TikTok. We've had it for quite a while, actually, but, it is there. So, let's talk about, this is a female zebra bee, which is a pastel spider Exantic. This is SK line. So, Patrick, why did you buy this thing?
Well, about a year and a half ago, started watching you talk about your Exantic lines and all that, and the snakes you had, and seeing the projects you wanted got me super excited in it. You started, watching your things back in, she's 20, right? Or 19.
She had pooping a lot of flies. And if you do say it's flies, I double-checked them. She is a 2020.
2020.
Yes.
So, your 20s, you had the first clutch. She was clutch 5, I believe, right? 2005 something?
Yes.
Number-wise?
I have to look. I got it written over there.
So, I know you had your first clutch and you had to hold back from there, and then she was there and you had 3 females.
I think so. Yeah.
And I was super excited. You let the first one of those go back in November. I was bummed I couldn't do it. Everybody was shopping for something that comes in December. I can't recall what that is.
Some holiday for commercialism, right?
You're not supposed to be greedy and, spend $800 on a snake at that time of year. But, I've been eager to get my hands on the...
baby girl.
Well, kind of like you. Want to get to something a little more than that. And get to the killer bee, but this is definitely the first step for me to get there.
It is.
I'm cheating. I'm cheating hard.
Oh, yeah. This is...
I get a pastel Exantic male, and I can, you paved the road many years for me. I'm not following your steps exactly. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't blame you, because when I started, this is a snake that started it all for me. So we'll pick this back up. I'll just get people back on here for a second. Was this exact type of snake? And the issue came in, and I know it's kind of weird, guys. I'm sitting and everybody else is standing, but if you watched our earlier live cutting on Instagram, There's back spasm issue today, so there's actually a hell of a pain.
I am so sorry.
It's part of my life. But with this, you know, they were like $10,000 or $7,500 when I got into it. So it was so like far away for a guy just starting out. I could not ever see myself spending that much money.
Same reason I can't necessarily justify buying a Sunset right now.
I get it. And so for me, it was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to make these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's where it came in. So let's get a bag for that. Here, I'll hand that to you really quick. So you can check that thing out. Oof. And somewhere over here, I have a collection of, or I did, oh, there they are. Snake bags. I may let two share a bag, but one of them is going to get its own bag. Because one of them that you're getting, I'm sorry, it's a crankopotamus. So.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. You're getting...
So we were talking about blood earlier.
Put that one right in there.
So what you're saying is we might actually have blood in this video yet.
It's possible.
Okay.
It is definitely possible. So
So
set this one to the side.
If somebody donates like $50 in your super chats, somebody gets bit, right?
You know what? I'll tell you guys what. If somebody donates $50, I'll get bit. I'll do it. I'm a horror. I'll get bit for $50. It is what it is. Now, it ain't going to be by a venomous snake. It ain't going to be by anything huge. I'll get bit. I'll do it. You know what? For $100, I'll try to let it bite me on the cheek. I don't give a shit.
We are making. Wait, we're making an old Brian Barczyk video now, aren't we?
No. Well, here's why I can say that, because I don't think anybody's going to do that.
Somebody I think wants you to pick out the blood. Yeah.
But if
I think that
blood,
needs to be more
will not be the blood python. No. It'll be one of these small ones. This one that's trying to bite everything. And I'm honest to God, guys. I'm probably going to get bit by anyway. So.
There's the super chat.
There's $10. There's the start to it.
Well, we're sticking around. What is it? An extra 5 minutes or something on your live?
Usually, yeah. So I'll tell you what. And honestly, I don't ever promote getting bit on purpose, but you know, I'm not gonna have to piss this one off to make it do it. It'll just do it. Trust me.
Oh, great.
So let's go to the next one. Let's not get the one.
Yeah, let's stay mellow for a minute.
Let's see if that number is at $9.99 does hit 50. Why not? It's the first of the month. So what was the next one you had coming to?
Okay, so the next one was A101, one of Alex's babies, banana pinstripe female. Possible black pastel, I believe?
Yes. So again, we'll kind of do the same thing.
3 snakes, 3 different breeders, all from picking up the same place.
They actually are. So here is this snake here. And there it is. Now, this is a black pastel. Or not, sorry, it's a pinstripe banana possible black pastel. I think the black pastel's in there. I'm seeing a lot of it here. But since it wasn't my production, I wasn't 100% certain on it. We actually sold this as probable. Another little fly. I get these flies everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
They are annoying. If you guys wonder what happens, I'll show you my fly tape. Ew, it's disgusting. So we get a ton of fly larvae this time of year. We're always having to deal with around here, but it is part of it.
Hey, I'll take the flies home. I just want to make sure I don't need to
make
the tubs real quick.
You know, it's never a bad idea, to be honest. Whenever you got something coming in from outside, even for me, I would say it's always a good idea. But one thing I always suggest, and bananas are the worst, you start seeing spots everywhere. You know,
you're not sure if it's
coconut or crawling. If you ever wonder,
banana,
and you see like a little bug of any type, like that one right there, the way to check, I can get it off of there, is to take it and you rub it on your fingernail like so. And if you leave a streak, that means it's having blood meals, which means it's a mite. So if you see a like dark streak run across, or if you can wipe it on a paper towel, if you don't want to use your fingernail, anything like that, and that'll tell you if you're dealing with mites. Or
yeah,
just you know. Larva. So, quick little pro tip there. So anyway, that is this guy here. You can see the belly. I shouldn't say guy; it's actually a girl. You know, a lot of bananas are mostly male, so we'll show you here. You can see some pop out, but they don't go back in, and they're all white. So scent glands is what you're seeing there. When you see a male, those would retract. They wouldn't stay.
Now, is that a little bit of coconut right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
See? A little bit of coconut. So there you go. Definitely a female. And this is about the best size ever to pop a snake, to be honest. I like them. They're a little bit bigger, and I don't feel like I have to be super gentle with them. But they're not so strong in the muscles that they hide from me. When I'm trying to pop
trust
them,
me, this is why I had to experiment the probes.
Oh man, you got a heads up 3 hours ago. So somebody says, yeah, we did try to post it. We tried to warn everybody as best we could, but it is what it. It's YouTube slow on a lot of that. Although you got it like 20 seconds after.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the second
Maybe it's
female.
proximity to
So tell me what your plans are with this one.
Well, okay, so this one was spur of the moment thing.
Banana.
Okay, so this girl was sitting in this rack 1 year ago.
See what you're talking about
Yeah,
here.
I guess they wanted. So she was sitting probably this tub right here
Yep.
1 year ago when I came for my visit. So this is a benefit of actually being in, the.
You window shop, didn't you?
Yes, very much so. Does Hera have?
That's just a Patreon,
Okay.
or just a Zeus.
So
level one.
if you're, a Zeus member, you get to come here at least once a year, have some, a little vacation,
Yep.
play with some snakes, see what's going to be for sale about 12 months. Actually, she was on sale back in March. I grabbed her, I think.
Yep.
March, April, no, May. No, it was March.
Baby.
But yeah, so last year I saw her and you showed her.
For the moment, that's my child's name. Sorry, that's funny.
But yeah, so you showed me that snake a year ago, one of Alex's babies, when all Alex's stuff was still right here because of what happened. And
that would be a house fire. My friend Alex had a house fire, so we took over his collection.
And
Red Form helped us sell that year.
This baby was just stunning. Like, I mean, I still have the picture in my phone from last year where...
So this was just a I want it, gotta have it kind of thing.
Exactly. Like, seeing her last year, which last year you told me it was a boy.
Well, I thought it was.
You confused the living Hades out of me with... But yeah.
Yeah, that's
This
it.
is her... her picture from a year ago. Just that orange stripe threw me right there. I might have a slight knack for a particular type of woodland animal.
Would be what's a fox say?
Yeah.
There was a bunch of them. I don't know if you saw them driving up. We have a whole troop of foxes around here.
All right, well, I know what I'm doing later.
We're gonna watch for the foxes.
Yeah.
As long as I can hold her.
Orange screams at me here and there. Yep. When I saw her a year ago, that orange. So when she finally went up for sale, I'd been waiting on this, but not having a clue when this was coming up.
Yep.
And she and her sister came up, and they were female, because, again, last year you're like, I think it's a male. I was like, okay, well, I don't really need a male banana, but female.
Female I could use.
I mean, to be fair, spur of the moment is pretty bad when you are at Hera or Zeus level and you got a nice discount to enjoy that's only enjoyable if you spend money at Olympus.
This is true. It's almost like a casino loyalty card, right?
Yeah.
You gotta come back in the door and get them perks. So Chad, right now I've got Patrick with me, and
hey, Chad.
I want to say Anna, but it's not Anna. I saw Anna. It's Allie. Again, I'm trying. All those A's got to connect up in my brain. So what you're saying is you used your weekend, and this is the first person I've heard mention that they did this. You may not be the only one that did, but you used it tactically. You kind of made a list of what you wanted to buy, what you were looking for, and all the things that were coming up. That's
what
smart.
I wanted to see in the future, absolutely. This was Alex's. We didn't know this was here. So, no, did I come here for that? No, I came here because I wanted to see your Exantic stuff. Because, again, you're the reason, like, inspirationally wise, it's almost the same path. I saw what you were doing.
Yeah.
And especially, 2019 was...
when you came on board?
No, well...
This was 2018.
No, well, yeah, I've been here since, like, 2018, but no, 2019 season, you had what you had been trying to make.
Oh, I hit that killer zebra that passed on me.
Yeah.
I did.
And
it sucked.
That season...
I may hit more. I ain't done yet.
Oh, hell no. No, you might even skip that now. You got Diesel and some Firefly stuff, you know.
Well, yeah,
you might just skip over what your original right there was. But no, seeing that clutch, that baby, even though unfortunately with the move and everything, screwed a lot of stuff, but that really fired everything up on the Exantic side. And this is what Exantic is what makes me want to start breeding myself.
Gotcha.
This is a beautiful animal, good for display. I would have bought her just as a pet.
Yeah.
Exantic makes me want to breed and go be above and beyond.
Gotcha. Now I want to address something I saw from a few of you, and that was saying that you kind of miss having Question Girl around. Yeah, me too. So here's what I want you to do, and David, I know you probably even have her contact. Text her and tell her that, because I tell her that same thing all the time. Hey man, there are people who would love to have you on there, and she don't believe me. So tell her, put it in the comments. We miss Question Girl on videos, things like that, and I will bust my ass to get her back on. I'll do it, but I need proof that people miss her because she thinks I'm full of crap.
I mean, and all the Patreons, don't
Hold
forget
the banana.
You want to hold that
I
one?
wanna hold
Okay,
that.
we'll just give it to you.
Let's
I've
not
been-
forget, Patreon people have, a whole channel they can, pin her in.
Because we do need to get her back on. Like we do. I'm in full support of that. She was great to have. And, that started from an idea, was that as this progressed, she's never going to be as much into snakes as I am, which is fine. I mean, she helped me all day today. My back was messed up. She did all the water and everything else. But, well, yeah, she loves that one, but it's not going to be the same deep passion.
She has a snake.
And so the idea was, when we were doing a video, especially one of an educational nature, if we kind of got like over the skis, so to speak, a little bit, like we were talking and we weren't really, it was something that would confuse somebody who was maybe new to it. With her being that kind of person, she would ask that question to bring it back to fill in that gap. So if we missed something, the idea was that she would help that new person by asking that question, clean up in the end. So we will definitely get her. Yeah, you're free to ask as many questions as you want. Cheesy Pie may not get to all of them, but we'll definitely do our best. So hit her up, let her know, and tell her to come back. Anna, you're my witness. People are asking for her. She never does believe it. You can't get enough content no matter what. Oh, man. Well, good news is I put the bar really too high for me to get bit, so I don't think I'm going to have to get bit today. While I'm trying to watch this live. Let me go grab the last one, then we'll wrap it up pretty quick. And so the last one, you said you got it from a different breeder.
Yes.
You want to tell them who you got it from?
Sure, I would love to, but I'm terrible with names, man.
So this one comes from what I like to call the Jason Ross collection.
Okay, Jason.
So Jason was a hell of a guy. And we put this down here. And this would be the one I said was going to bite me.
Wow, yeah, that's already ready to light us up.
Yeah, it will try to. I am sure of it.
Oh,
there it was. Like I said, I wouldn't have to work really hard to get this one to bite me in the face if we hit the donation level. But the thing about Jason was he unfortunately developed a rodent allergy, and he had a big enough collection that he was, breeding his own rodents, and even to the point of just feeding was causing him to break out in hives and all kinds of other stuff. So he couldn't keep a lot of his animals, so a lot of them came here. So this is one that we actually sold to you and went to charity.
Yes.
I believe the charity was a zoo, correct? Or a local zoo. What did you get to go check out today?
Yes, I did go to the zoo. Half of it.
Half of it. You could have went and finished the rest, man.
No. Asia's shut down.
Oh, that's because they're working on that. So that's what a lot of.
So that's why I mean half the zoo. Half the zoo wasn't accessible.
We're going to end up taking. You are just cranky.
Okay.
Let's not do that. There you go, Snake. So that's what it was going to, is help that expedition.
Yeah.
They've started the program
For the snow leopards and all that.
We actually have to take our money to them, so we are still going to do that as we're finishing up. So,
but yeah,
and if you guys are like, well, how are you going to do that? Believe it or not, there's a drawer here from a guy that owes. It's a little bit less. He owes a little bit more than what we owe the zoo, so that's where that money is going. When he finishes, we're just going to go give it to them. So the zoo is definitely our charity on that. We may do it earlier so I can get some plaques up I want to get. But anyway, so this is a what? Do you remember?
Okay, so this is a Firefly. Nope. A Fire Z. Okay.
It's a Fire Bee.
Fire Bee. There we go. Fire Bee head Exantic.
So it should have spider. Now, again, I didn't breed the snake, so I'm going off of what I was told. It should have fire, it should have spider, and it should have pastel, and it should be head Exantic. Now, I own both of its parents, so I do know that it is, in fact, head Exantic. I'm holding things back from that. Its dad was Diesel, which was a killer bee Exantic, and its mother was a Firefly, who's going to have eggs again this year. I saw come on to get to. Something about Desert Ghost. Yeah, I agree with what Chad's saying. Man, go with what you're passionate about. Don't chase the money. So that's definitely it, man. You can, everything gets there, but you got to do what you're passionate about. So, so if you're looking for an easy job, man, James, this is gonna sound. I don't want to sound. I'm gonna get off. Okay, I don't really want to sound mean, so don't take it the wrong way, right? But if you're wanting an easy, high reward job, this ain't it, dude. This ain't it. This isn't it. And people are gonna go, oh yeah, it is. But let me tell you, man, there are thousands of people out there breeding ball pythons. Thousands. There are a select small percentage that make it their full-time job. A lot of them dudes, not all, but a lot of them dudes have income from other places as well, whether it may be military disability or other disability income. That's why they're doing that, or something else. There are very few people that this is all they do full time, including myself. This is not my full-time job. I actually have another full-time job. I'm about to take on another job so I can transition to this being my job. And that it doesn't matter what you work with. If you go out and you buy high-end morphs from day one, there's a lot of speculative risk there, a ton of speculative risk, because if anything goes wrong or south, or if you get ripped off by who you're buying from, there's problems there, right? Number two, it's going to take 3 or 4 years to produce. Number three, if you have a snake that's a $10,000 snake because these high-end morphs, and JKR has a snake that's a $10,000 snake, or even an $11,000 snake, that's the same exact morphs, especially if you're dealing with recessives, you're not going to beat JKR. You're not going to do it. That name recognition is there. And until you build that reputation and that name recognition so somebody can know that you're not a fly-by-night and your animals are likely what you say they are, and if they're not, and if you make a mistake, you're going to stand behind it, which those guys have built over time, it's very hard to do. So most people who get into this job say, I'm going to make quick money, bam, 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 and be out, or it's going to be easy, I'm going to breed a handful of snakes on high-end morphs. Failure. Most. And that's not me trying to be an ass. And if it comes out that way, man, I'm sorry. But what Chad said is spot on, dude. Work what you're passionate about, what you like. If this becomes just a day job, and that's all it is, you have to go pick up shit all the time and all of that, and then you have to work to sell these animals. And if you think social media is easy, man, dude, like, I spend so many hours just dealing with social media, and I only get half done what I need to get it done, right? It isn't, and plus I got lucky as hell. My name recognition, a lot of it came from getting luck and getting found out early on in the beginning of my career. And this is,
well, hell,
I'm 7-8 years in now. I don't do this full time.
I mean, I found you probably back in early 2018 or something like that, maybe late 17, on YouTube, simply because you made a video at Barjack at a reptile show.
I did. Yeah.
And that was the first video that tied me onto you.
Yeah. And Barjack's a cool dude. People give him a lot of crap. He's a good dude.
Well, yeah.
I give him crap sometimes, but I give everybody crap. But I love Brian. Brian was super nice.
I mean, I still watch freaking his channel all the damn time. But yeah, no, it was because you made that video at the reptile show back when, years ago. Years ago. And then I saw you, and then, well, I mean, it does help that, I live 2 hours away, and I was like, well, this guy's local. Let's check him out. And then I decided I wanted to give you $100 a month.
And you know what, Kat, you're right. It is close to 8 or 9. And I didn't invest super heavy when I started. I wanted to start slow and kind of get my feet wet. But at this point in time, I have some high-end things I'm setting on, and I can create high-end snakes, and it's still not going to pay all the bills.
Well, that's the bad part, because I've seen quotes from, I want to say, the guy from, like, Mutation Creation, I want to say.
Who is on our Instagrammer. That's pretty cool shit. We got to say that.
I think it was him. I've seen a quote saying, if you want to get in ball pythons, don't do it unless you're going to go spend $10,000 on snakes, because you're not going to get anywhere otherwise. Which I don't agree with. I know you don't agree with. But the thing there is, like...
The young kids.
You're saying it's going to... This is a high-risk gamble if you're going to try to put your all in this... Like, hedge all your bets on snake breeding. Because I could, like, try to get 30 grand.
Yep.
And sit there and go into something that should hold everything well, sunset. Should. But I'm going to get sunset babies, like these girls. Mm-hmm. These girls, I mean, maybe 2023 season, I might have one of my 3 girls big enough to breed.
And sunsets, they haven't even held. But kind of an up and down.
But that's the thing. Yeah. But, like, we're talking, these are my first girls.
Right.
I haven't got my feet wet in breeding yet. This is a hobby thing. But I'm still 2 to 3 years before I have my first clutch.
Yep.
If I did jump full-hearted into it and tried to go after Sunset Monsoon, something that's got that big boom dollar right now, and 5 years down the road is when I might start making money back, what is a Sunset or Monsoon going to be in 5 years?
Exactly.
Because,
especially with the name game going on right now. Like,
well,
I mean, there's so much things get named to get
naming,
high price, and ends up being the same thing.
How's that question pastel over there?
Yeah, so the banana cheesy poo is a great example. And the Sunset's really still holding because people kind of poo-pooed that project for a while. But recessives are going to drop. They are. They're going to drop not as fast as incomplete dominant genes, and but it just, I mean, Sunsets also aren't what they once were.
Sure.
They aren't. I can give example. Like bananas, somebody mentioned, were great. When they first came out, man, they were really expensive. 10,000 was as the market declined. And it dropped so fast because of the sex leaking to somebody at the market at the same time. And it's kind of crashed, right? So my advice to people would be, start with something simple. Start with something you're passionate about. Get the ball rolling. Get your feet wet. Understand how it works. Because then, you're not going to kill your first female. You're not going to, kill your first clutch. Hi, I did that. You're not going to do a lot of those things. If you do it, you're not doing it with high-end animals, and then you can invest more and build more as it goes. I mean, I don't know what my total investment is, but most of my investment comes from my animals paying for that investment. To the point that my business owns property. Like, this is not my house we're sitting in. It's my animal's house. So, and you know what? Not exactly true, Maddie, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But that's the problem. You're looking at quality over quantity. You've got a lot of quality here, and if you're only making a handful of snakes, it's very hard to sell this because your name isn't out there, and it's not really hundreds. Well, it is hundreds, but barely hundreds. So, and panda, you try to make pandas, you're gonna have a lot of kinking going on, quite possibly. So if you don't know the combos you're getting into, you're gonna have a problem. Now you talk about Miguel. Miguel's great, but you got to understand something about Miguel. Okay, Miguel ran businesses before he got into ball pythons. He moved out of some other business to generate capital, and the guy's got a business mind that most of us don't have. So like there was a lot of investment in there, and a lot of things set up that he was able to come together without going into debt, right? And there was a lot going on there that it's a different situation than what most people have. Miguel didn't start breeding ball pythons and buy Ferraris. Miguel was buying Ferraris because of the other things he did before he got into ball pythons. I mean, and I'm not ripping. That's not a rip, but that's a factual thing. So when you see that and you think, oh, I can do this and buy Ferraris, no, you're probably not going to. Maybe
he's a great guy. He's doing great things.
I like Miguel, but it's just a matter of perspective when you're talking about, well, anybody can do what Miguel did. No, Miguel can do what Miguel did. If you go, I'm going to be the next Miguel, it ain't going to happen.
Well, and the thing is, there's also...
There you go. Now, Chad's saying something exactly right. $15,000 haven't made a snake yet. So if you can afford to do that, it all depends on your perspective on your wallet. There's some truth to that. But, I mean, you do you, man, but you have a lot of people here telling you that going in a whole hog is not necessarily what's always going to work out the best. There's some better ways to get your feet wet and then invest what you want. I mean, I'm at a point now, if I want to go spend $3 or $4 grand on pythons in one day, ain't no fucking thing. You know what I mean? Depending on what time of year it is, first of all. But
I don't know. Question Girl might get mad at it.
She won't, because it ain't my money. I'm not spending my income. I'm spending their income. They're covering all that. The overhead on the house. You're gonna trust me, man. There's more overhead than you're ever going to realize, even on a small collection. Especially if you have so small collection, you're buying rats, then you'll spend as much as I do.
Yeah, it's like one of the things, me with 5.
And but it doesn't matter what evidence you have, James. That's what I'm trying to explain. You can have all the evidence that your snakes came from somewhere, but unless somebody knows who you are, they still it's a leap of faith. You have to undercut those prices really bad. Well, it is what it is. I can tell you, somebody can tell me where their snakes come from all over the place, right? And if I have a choice to buy from that person or buy from the source, say John Dog, I know if I get an Exantic from John Dog, now I bought people had Exantic knives from John Dog, and that helps. And Chad's right on point. It's not that simple. I'm going to still just go buy from John Dog. if it's the same. Why? Because I know John's there. He's there next year. He'll be there the year after that. I know he's going to stand behind his product. I know he knows exactly what the hell he's talking about when it comes to Exantic. Somebody I've never heard of, never seen, nobody else knows because their first few seasons.
Well, see, the thing is, too...
That's the reality. That's the reality of it, dude.
The thing is, too, yes, James may have all the evidence that he bought from John Dog or anybody else, but, I'm new. I'm still... the guy that's going to the reptile show is like, I might want to do this. So I'm not, I'm much lower on the totem pole than you are.
Right.
And even I can sit here and say that, yes, even if you have all the evidence in the world that you bought it from these reputable people, I have to want to give you the time of day to even prove that when I can sit here and say, all right, Matt's right here that has this. I know he's got a lot of standing behind him. You might have evidence, but... standing.
The other thing too, when you start talking about, I'm only going to breed 3 or 4 or 5 clutches, all going to be the super high end things, and I'm going to make all this money doing that, is there's not a lot of people out there ready to buy $3, $4, $5,000 animals. Like it's just not this thing. Like when the bananas were 10,000, not everyone and their brother was buying them. Everyone and their brother was buying bananas when they were $200, $300.
Well, see, here's the problem. Even this, I bought this girl from you for $500. But,
Cheesy Poo, I'll hit that in just a second.
But let's be completely fair. For the average person, the average mom and dad buying a new snake for their kid, they're not going to want to spend $500 on this banana pinstripe, possible black pastel, generally.
No.
Because...
there's a happy spot in the market for sales.
Generally, when you're talking about selling high-dollar ball python morphs, you're selling to your... fellows.
Your fellow breeders.
Yeah, your fellow breeders, enthusiasts, stuff like that.
Now, we're lucky. Like, I can sell things that are that price, like the Kryptons we sold, because we have people that know us and are willing to buy from us, right? And that gives us the ability to have that market. And, yeah, you got to know the market you're in, man. It is what it is, right? Now, when it comes to, somebody asked about PetSmart, are PetSmart snakes bad? No, they're not necessarily bad. You can find good snakes at PetSmart. Sometimes you'll pay more for them, and some of their policies I don't like on the big pet shops, so you're going to run into that. So I'm glad you picked up. I'm glad it ate for you. But see it right there, here in India, I'm selling over $1,000. Now, I can probably have sold stuff over $1,000 to people in that area, but it's not like every snake I have is $1,000 animal. Like, that's not the case. I would never make that many sales. It's much easier to sell a $400 snake than a $1,000 snake. It's easier to sell 5 $400 snakes than a $1,000 snake. If you do math really well, so I'm not good at, this is better money than this. So, yeah, man, 1090 gram rats at $109, and I get that, man. I do. Like, that's the reality. Even on a small collection, you're going to have those rat costs. You're going to have to feed those babies. I mean, it's not. And I'm not saying it's impossible to make extra money that way. I'm just saying if that's what you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, I would get my feet wet on some low-end stuff. Man, not necessarily low-end. I shouldn't say low-end. Some regular stuff before I go invest in a $10,000 or $15,000 project. The other thing is, let's say you did invest in a project and you picked Scaleless back in the day. Remember, Scaleless is the greatest thing ever. Didn't go so well, right? We still don't know what's going to happen with that. That project still isn't done. I'm invested in it, but that's fine for me. But if I would have invested a ton of money in up front, and that was my first thing, and where all my eggs were,
well,
right?
That's the problem. Like
it's one of them things. So
we still don't know how the scaleless is going to work, and if the females do prove out to not be viable.
And somebody says to know JKR. Oh, yeah. Now, when it comes to like mites, man, anytime you buy something, check it, set it up, spray it. If I bring anything in from the outside, one I'll put in a tub where I clean every time afterwards. I'll still spray the tub down, even if I buy it from somebody I've never heard of or JKR. It doesn't matter because, you don't know who they've talked to. I have a pet shop, so it's not going to come. I can maybe meet somebody, bring something home and not know it until later. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's always a good idea to treat everything like it, you're bringing it from the outside. And I told him that from me, everything should be good, as far as I know. But there's no guarantees in this world, so you should treat everything like from the outside because I could have picked up reptile mites outside, walking through my own damn woods. They happens, believe it or not. So, yes, stick with what you know, but always quarantine. I agree. So to say, JKR will never have mites, well, he might. He might, and now would he take care of it? Absolutely, he would take care of it, just like we would. But anybody could get that. You can actually get them because you're at a show and you're selling snakes as, you know, the most well-known reptile breeder of ever. And then over here, this dude's got mites. This guy looks at a snake over here, comes over, buys a snake from you, goes home, calls, says, hey man, the damn thing has mites. It does. It wasn't from you, it was from that guy down the road, but guess what? Your problem's still your animal. So always treat
mites
that
happen.
Way. Mites happen. Mites are like shit. They just happen.
But yeah, I mean, and you're absolutely right. But like somebody saying JKR is never, I guarantee JKR still has to get new blood in. He's buying snakes to continue his projects. Now he's got probably one of the most killer quarantine systems and imagine, and he won't less likely to have an outbreak in this whole building. But
so I'm gonna call a comment out, and if you guys didn't see it, I'm gonna read it out loud because it is spot the fuck on, and it is from Chad Walton, Hyperspace Reptiles. It says there's definitely a path to make money, but it takes way more time and investment than people realize. That's why you see people bail out in 2 to 3 years, and that is truth. And we've got some people on here I know right now, and one of them I'm thinking of, who man, they've started to turn that corner, but that corner probably took them a little longer to turn than they thought it would, you know. But they stuck with it. They're turning the corner, and now they're there, and they're starting to do their own shows and sales, and profit's going to come in, and all of those things. But it just takes some time, guys. It takes some time, and that's not a bad thing. If this was, here's the deal: if this was super easy to make a shit ton of money, you would have a ton of people making a shit ton of money, and then it becomes super hard because we're our own best customers. It's just not how it works, right? Yeah. Now, if you can afford to invest $15,000 or $20,000, that's what you want to do. Are there worse things to put it in? Yeah, there are. But if you think it's going to turn around and be your day job in like 6 months or a year or 2 years or 3 years, it's not. If you can do that and do this and expect to be there maybe in 10 years, okay. You know, then you're on to something. So it all depends on what you're looking at doing. But when I see the word, this is an easy way to make money, it makes me cringe a little bit because...
Well, and see, here's the bad part.
It's not.
Like you and Chad, right?
Yeah. Oh, I want to make one more point. So we talked about Miguel earlier. Said, everybody can just do what Miguel did, just grind this. Yeah, Miguel's good at what he does, and he does make it look easy. But Miguel works his ass off at this now too.
Well, it's not
just like he did his gyms that he used to own and things like that. So it's not an easy thing.
Well, it's not just that, because like you can grind all when it comes to media, when it comes to social media, you can grind every day, all day. For years and still go nowhere. I'm sure we have. I don't know how much crossover we have in our viewing audience here, but you just look at gaming streamers and you see that evident.
Yeah,
there are thousands on thousands trying to make it, and they do grind. They grind hour on hour on hour on hour, trying to make it on social media and get nowhere. But that's not saying they're not putting in enough hard work. They're trying everything they can.
So, and as Anna's writing that comment too, Anna was actually one of the people I was just talking about. I'm sure she won't mind I say that I watched them start at the beginning and get out there and get themselves out there and take that time and invest and stick with it when it was hard and turn that corner. So like Anna, tons of respect for you. And she just wrote that it's a personal choice we'll have to make, no right or wrong. It will take time for new breeders to gain people's confidence. And that is true. And people are more willing to give you a shot on that $300 or $400 snake than they are that $4,000 or $5,000 snake, right? Even on somebody like our size, which isn't huge, we're that in between size. If I lose $4,000, I'm going to feel that. Okay, I'm going to feel that. That's going to affect me even at the right time of year when I have the most money flowing in here, because we do clean it out about once a year. I'm going to know that happened, you know. But yes, it's not easy. It is not easy.
Well, especially when you're talking about something like, Krypton. Okay? That's a new major, woohoo, exciting thing. But if you have something that's Het Krypton.
Yeah.
The Het Krypton doesn't show a visual example. Nope. So we don't...
Unless it's a pair of clown.
Well, yes. Well, that's Krypton. But, if you got a Het Cryptic or a Het Clown, okay? And you're selling a snake that's hundreds of dollars, possibly thousands of dollars, and it's supposed to be this, and I'm expecting that.
Right.
And I'm at a reptile show. If I don't know the person on the other side of that table, I'm going to be really hesitant of those non-visual hets because I want this het. This is why I'm even considering spending this money, but is it really there?
And I think Chris and I think you're saying the same thing in a different way. That there's definitely that more trust like I was talking about. But I think honest point is it's also nice to give that new person a shot because it's hard to break into that sometimes, and it is, and that's going to happen in that certain tier of things. So that's where it is. And then two, you got to put yourself out there constantly. JoJo's a great example. Man, you can find JoJo and on all kinds of people's shit. They're putting themselves out there because people start to know them, which is a good thing, right? A good thing. So, all right, so we kind of got off the rails on this, which is okay.
Only a lot of it.
That's why we do lives. We do lives to off the rails. So we've been at this for about 40 minutes, believe it or not.
Oh my lord!
I know. Time flies when you're having fun. We are gonna hop off of here. So like I say, I think everybody's on the same page that, but I don't mind trusting new people, but if I'm dropping, for example, when I got into the Scales project, there was Scales had stuff out there. I could have went a lot of different ways. I chose to buy from Constriction Addiction. I didn't get the cheapest deal. I didn't, but the reason I went with Constriction Addiction on the Scales project is he's a well-known commodity. He's been in it a long time. He was one of the first to really dive into the scales. He knows his shit. He was one of about 4 or 5 I was willing to buy from. I wouldn't have bought from just anybody on the Scales project. And I'm happy I made that decision. My Scales head mail is perfect. So there is a point to that. Yes. So like that's in the marketing stuff. You got to do that, and that's a lot of work too. It's not just I threw 2 snakes together. I made some high end shit, easy money. Like it's hard money. You got to earn your money, and that's the way it should be.
Do that.
I did, but it took me 8-9 years to accidentally do that shit. All right, guys, we are gonna hop up off here. We're gonna slide over to Patreon, of course. I owe them a video, man. I did a live on Instagram, a live here today. I gotta go see those folks. And James, one thing I would suggest, I know you probably feel like we're ganging up on you, but it's coming from a place of wanting to see people be successful, right? No, you can't always. Sometimes it's easy to miss, and sometimes they'll reabsorb. Look at joining the Patreon. You're saying, well, you're probably think I'm an asshole at this point, so why would you support me? Because if you think I'm an ass, it's okay. It ain't about me. You're going to find a lot of people who are in that business, gotten into it early on, all of those things, you know what I mean? That can help you along that way and along that path. And, so that may be worth checking out.
As a person, not you trying to promote your Patreon, I can honestly say, okay, and I agree. We're nobody here is trying to gang up.
Right.
It's trying to curb expectation for realism.
For realism, exactly.
And here's the thing. Every person on the Patreon, I trust.
Well, there is that.
$5 is the cheapest, right?
Yes.
$5. Somebody in the $5 range can come on there, sell every baby in their clutch, but because they're in our community, they're a part of our community, our network, I'll trust them to not scam me. I'm not trusting people on Morph Market, Facebook Marketplace,
right?
Other places that I really wouldn't buy breeders off of.
Craigslist. Sorry.
But yeah, and that's the thing.
I've done it though.
Well, I still look.
We've all done it. Oh, Wolf Guy says you shouldn't trust her.
Oh, come on, JoJo. You buy everything. I know exactly where all your stuff came from.
I've seen really expensive snakes I know for a fact got listed as sold and died.
Yeah?
Because I know who had them, and I know they died.
And that's the problem.
So,
there's definitely breeders I've come across in some of the local shows that I go to, down the road. And there are definitely people that go to the show I would not trust to buy a living creature from to save my life.
Yeah. There's one instance I could think of. It was an extremely expensive snake. I think it was about I want to say $7,000 or $8,000 animal that 2 gentlemen had produced who I know. I'm not going to put their names out here. It's not my job today. Just as an example to prove my point. They had it listed for $8,000. I want to say it was $8,000, maybe more, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it's marked on their website as sold. It's marked on their Morph Market as sold. And at the same time it was getting marked sold, one of the owners was posting a video on his Facebook upset that it died. So just because something says it's sold on Morph Market does not mean it actually sold. It also does not mean it was what was advertised, and it does not mean it sold for the price listed. So that's just one instance I personally know about on a really high-end animal on there. So
well, also the fact that something like Morph Market is kind of easy to manipulate a little bit because you have a snake. Like, one thing that can be done, I know, if you inquire on a snake, it can be listed as sold and never gets sold.
Yeah, that happens too.
So, I mean, and that's not
That's not a bad thing. That's not Morph Market's bad.
No,
it's just...
no. It's just sometimes things are not as they appear.
And it's not my opinion. It's what I've learned from doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, and I'm all for people that want to, make the, potentially use the system in their favor for the right reasons.
And the snake didn't die out of greed. The snake died because it died. I've had babies die. If you breed, you're gonna have babies die.
Yeah, I mean there's failure to thrive and stuff like
rather
that.
than any breeder who's gonna post on there and say, "Hey," and it wasn't a completely unknown person, but it's that they're not gonna post on there and say, "Hey, yeah, I'm pulling the snake off because it died," and it's easier just to click the sold button. I mean, which one's gonna look better for your marketing? That your animals are moving or your animals died?
But
right?
You see a bunch that have, if something says sold and all that, and you expect that, you see repetition, you might believe something that's not true.
Yes.
And I mean, even one thing I love about you and your YouTube and everything, you're very
open.
Open.
We try to be
and see through a window kind of thing. I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Transparent.
Transparent. There we go. You've had 2018 sucked.
Oh God, it was a fucking shit show. It was terrible.
But you were open about it. And love to death other YouTubers that have animals, some great ones. And not that they're not transparent, they're just not as transparent. And you'll hear something about this amazing thing, and you never hear about it again.
Right.
And that's not necessarily wrong.
No, it's their prerogative.
But
we chose to be different, not because I thought that they were doing it wrong. We chose to be different because.
But still,
I felt like when I was getting into it, some of the information that's out there made it look different than the reality, and I wanted to give the reality.
And that's the whole curbing expectation for reality thing. Yep. Without you and your videos, I would probably have an unrealistic view because everybody else is, sunshine and rainbows.
And you have to be us marketing the sale. If you go tell somebody, hey, this is our work, some people aren't going to buy. So sunshine and rainbows sells a lot better than this is a fucking grind.
Yeah.
But if you're the only guy now it's, I think, much more transparent than it used to be.
Yes. There's definitely a lot more transparency coming through and stuff. But yeah, a couple of years ago, that's exactly what I saw was.
I do that cheesy poo.
Absolutely. You just get this, you do this, and everything's, sunshine, no problems. You're gonna have 99.9% health rate, and
And here's the thing too, James. At the end of the day, I mean, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and I hope it works out for you because I think more people getting into it, it's great. I'm just telling you some things to think about. You do you, and like I say, the offer's there to join the community, and you'll actually have a better chance selling those snakes there because you'll get known than what you would on.
There's
Morph Market.
I don't know how many people
that's why we
have
do it. But
Discord.
We all poop gold, right? So it's just more of some shit to think about. I mean, at the end of the day, you could do it. It could work great. You could do it. It could fall on its face. I would say don't put in a high-end investment unless you're ready to lose that investment. Treat it like cryptocurrency. If you ain't ready to lose it, don't put it in.
It's like when you go to the casino to have fun.
Oh, how do you join? There should be a link in most of our videos to our Patreon. Click on that. Sign right up. Today's a great day to do it because it's the first of the month, so it's going to charge you $5 right away if that's the level you choose. But you'll have access the entire month. Where if you would have joined yesterday, I would have told you to wait because I wouldn't want you to get charged $5 on a day and $5 on the next day. That's kind of bullshit. So first of the month is the best time to do it.
Also, something worth plugging is I believe you're going to have a sales list coming out.
Yeah, we are
soon.
Yeah, I was kind of setting out, so Patrick wanted to go sneak peek of that.
So, but yeah, so because I remember when I first started, you had a rule specials. You had to be at least one whole month.
Yes.
Before you could go on a special.
We did change that. The reason we changed that was because when we first started Patreon, it didn't charge you until the next month.
Okay.
So you had to have some skin in the game to have access to the specials.
So yeah,
which
every month there's a special. We just had 2 yesterday.
Had 2. We did 2 instead of 1 yesterday. Usually it's near the end of the month. So, and that list will probably come out mid-August. It gives anybody who has a card issue a chance to get it fixed before we put it on there.
So and everybody that's in there is going to have a chance to buy.
Oh, I don't have any of those cheesy poo
from you. So
yes. We'll put up, and not just me, because if it was about me, that would be the most narcissistic bullshit ever. So it's
as somebody from the Discord, I can vouch.
Whatever.
Because yes, I understand you are the salesman. Maybe people on YouTube don't want to believe you, but as somebody that has been an active member of your Patreon for almost a year before I even got to Zeus, so nearly 3 years now, I'd say.
Yeah.
Close to, anyway. You know, I can...
Cheesy poo you do.
I can absolutely support behind you on this. You know, one, our Discord is a community. When somebody has a problem, they post on there, and there's an army of support behind it. It's not like I've got this problem on
and no negativity.
Another place where people ask for help, and everybody's like, "You are the worst person on the planet. Should not own a creature. Jump off something."
I mean, just like it's like here, you know, we kind of.
But
James posted me his thing about. We all kind of tell him more thoughts, but nobody's saying, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot."
No, James, absolutely. Breed, get in here, join,
and,
be in the community. You know, whether it's on our community or the general reptile community. One, I would prefer to see a reptile in every house in the United States anyway, because then
I'm really gonna make money.
Then, well, that our buddies at US Arc might have a little less fight on their hands.
Yeah. You know, and for us, what it says too, I don't think the guys like, you know, nobody's gonna say that because it's not the case, because he's literally thinking through, trying to think of things, looking at different things, looking at how to do this and all of that. That's somebody who's thinking. I'm not gonna sit there and rip into him.
No,
ever.
but like, and
we don't put that shit on our Discord either, ripping into people.
Every couple of days, somebody's got clutch updates from their own clutches. Everybody that's in our Discord can sell in our Discord.
Yes.
You make a snake, you can sell it on Discord to any of your fellow Discordians.
Yes.
That's nice.
Discordians. If you read Stephen King, we can just say, "Oh, Discordia." But anyway.
But yeah, so like, and for
pies are cooking in the incubator.
$5 a month is easy-ish for most people. You know.
I don't know. You got a troll in there. We get them sometimes. I don't know what they're talking about. Watch this go boop and gone.
But yeah, so like, you know, but and I mean, it's as far as Discord goes, it's a gamble of $5 once. If you don't like it, you don't like Matt, you don't like us or anything like that, $5. You know, that's less than going to McDonald's for a meal.
Yes.
Let's be fair.
It is. It's one Starbucks coffee.
You know. That's all you're gambling. One $5 entry, and if you like it, you stay. You can go up or down in ranks. You know.
Yeah, it's easy.
You crazy? Right. You get to come here once a year.
It's true, but we do gotta hop off here and slide on over to Discord. So we'll catch you all.
Patreon.
Patreon. Discord on the brain. We'll catch you all next time.